You're staring at your bank account again. That number hasn't moved in months. Every time you get paid, the money seems to evaporate before you can even touch it. Rent, food, gas, that subscription you forgot to cancel, poof, gone. And somewhere on the internet, a financial expert is telling you that once you hit $10,000, the next $10,000 comes twice as fast. Meanwhile, you're trying to figure out how to get from $200 to $500 without something breaking and wiping you out. Here's the thing that financial expert isn't telling you. They're not lying, but they're leaving out the most important part. The part about your brain, the part about why the first $1,000 feels impossible, and the part about how to actually get there without losing your mind. Here's something that might make you feel better. The reason saving your first $1,000 feels so impossible isn't because you're bad with money. It's because your brain is literally wired to make it hard. Scientists have studied this. There's something called temporal discounting. Fancy term, simple meaning. Your brain values something you can get right now way more than something you'll get later. That $50 dinner tonight? Your brain sees it as a bright, shiny, immediate reward. That $50 saved for future you? Your brain sees it as a vague, distant, boring concept. It's like comparing a fireworks show to a beige wall. Your brain isn't trying to make you broke. It's trying to keep you alive. For thousands of years, humans who grabbed resources when they were available survived. Humans who saved for later often starved. Your brain is running ancient software in a modern world. The problem is that your brain doesn't understand that the grocery store will still be there tomorrow. It doesn't understand that your paycheck comes every 2 weeks. It doesn't understand that the sale will happen again. It just sees food now versus food later. Opportunity now versus opportunity maybe never. And it always picks now. This is why saving that first $1,000 feels like pushing a boulder uphill. You're not just fighting your spending habits. You're not just fighting your income level. You're fighting millions of years of evolution. You're fighting every instinct your ancestors passed down to you. But here's what nobody tells you. Once you understand this, you can stop fighting your brain and start working with it. You can hack the system. You can use your brain's quirks to your advantage instead of letting them sabotage you. And that's exactly what we're gonna do. Let me walk you through what actually happens when you try to save your first $1,000. Because the math is simple. The psychology is not. The math is just numbers. The psychology is your whole life. Let's say you decide to save $100 every month. That's $25 a week. That's skipping one dinner out and making coffee at home. That's saying no to one impulse purchase. Totally doable, right? Month 1, you put $100 in savings. It feels good. You're proud of yourself. You check your balance, $100, tiny, but it's something. You feel a little spark of hope. Month 2, another $100. Now you have $200. You're starting to feel like this might actually work. You tell yourself you're going to keep going. You feel motivated. You feel capable. Month 3, your car needs an oil change and new tires. There goes $400. You're back to zero. Or worse, you're negative because you had to use a credit card. The hope vanishes. The motivation disappears. You feel like a failure. This is where most people quit. They think, what's the point? Every time I save, something comes along and takes it. The universe doesn't want me to have money. I'm cursed. Here's what's really happening. You're not failing. You're learning. Every time you save and then have to spend, you're building a muscle. Every time you start over, you're getting stronger. Every setback is a lesson, not a verdict. The research on this is clear. People who successfully save their first $1,000 are exponentially more likely to save their next $1,000 than people who have never saved anything. Not because they got lucky, not because they make more money, because their brain changed. Your brain has something called self-efficacy. It's your belief in your own ability to succeed. When you have $0 saved, your brain looks at $1,000 and sees a fantasy. It doesn't believe it's possible, so it doesn't even try. It doesn't want to risk failure. But once you hit $1,000, something clicks. Your brain now has proof. Hard evidence that you're the kind of person who can save money. That proof rewires your entire relationship with saving. It changes your identity. It's like the first time you ride a bike. You fall 100 times. You scrape your knees. You want to give up. You're bleeding and frustrated and embarrassed. Then suddenly you're riding, and you never forget how. Your brain has been rewired. Let's run the actual numbers, because seeing this visually might change how you think about those first few months. The numbers don't lie, but they also don't capture the emotional toll. Let me show you both. You save $100 a month. That's $25 a week. At that rate, it takes you 10 months to save your first $1,000. 10 months of saying no to things you want. 10 months of feeling like you're making zero progress. 10 months of your friends thinking you've lost your mind because you won't go out to eat anymore. 10 months of watching everyone else spend while you save. Those 10 months feel like an eternity because your brain is constantly reminding you of all the stuff you could be buying instead. Every time you say no, your brain throws a little tantrum. Every time you see someone else spending, your brain whispers, "They're having fun, you're missing out." But here's what your brain isn't telling you. After those 10 months, something changes. The snowball starts rolling. Your second $1,000 takes about 9 months. Not a huge difference. Your brain barely notices. You're still fighting. You're still sacrificing. Your third $1,000 takes about 8.5 months. Still not dramatic. You're starting to see a pattern, but it's subtle. You're not sure if it's real or if you're imagining it. Your fourth $1,000 takes about 8 months. Now you're noticing. The time between milestones is shrinking. The snowball is getting heavier. Your fifth $1,000 takes about 7.5 months. You're starting to feel momentum. You're not just saving anymore, you're building. By the time you're working on your 10th $1,000, it's taking you less than 6 months to save each additional $1,000. The snowball is rolling. Not fast yet, but it's moving. And once it starts moving, it gets harder and harder to stop. Momentum is a powerful force. It works for you or against you. Now it's working for you. This is where most financial advice stops. They show you the numbers. They explain compound interest. They tell you to be patient. They draw the charts. They run the projections. But they don't tell you about what happens inside your brain during those first 10 months. They don't tell you about the emotional roller coaster. They don't tell you about the voice in your head that keeps asking, "What's the point?" They don't tell you about the nights you'll lie awake wondering if you're wasting your time. That voice is normal. That voice is your ancient brain trying to protect you. That voice doesn't understand that you're building something that will eventually set you free. That voice is scared. Don't listen to it. Now let me show you the moment when everything flips. Because it's not when you hit $1,000. It's not when you hit $5,000. It's when you hit around $10,000. This is the psychological breakthrough. Here's why. At a conservative 7% annual return, $10,000 earns about $700 per year. That's $58 per month. That's money your money is making while you sleep. That's money you didn't have to work for. That's money that just shows up. $58 a month might not sound like much, but here's what it represents. Your money is now doing some of the work for you. You're not alone in this anymore. You have a partner. You started with just you, just your $100 a month, just your sacrifices, just your discipline, just your willpower. Now you have a partner. Your money is working, and it doesn't get tired. It doesn't get distracted. It doesn't complain. It doesn't need vacations. It doesn't call in sick. At $20,000, your money earns about $1,400 per year. That's $117 per month, more than your original monthly contribution. Your money is now contributing more to your wealth than you are. At $50,000, your money earns about $3,500 per year. That's $292 per month. Now your money is contributing almost 3 times what you contribute. You're not the engine anymore. You're just the fuel. At $100,000, your money earns about $7,000 per year. That's $583 per month. Your money is now doing the work of a part-time job, a job that never calls in sick, never asks for a raise, never complains about the boss, never needs a break. This is why wealthy people say the first $100,000 is the hardest, not because the math suddenly gets easier, but because your brain suddenly gets it. The numbers were always there, but now you feel them. Once you see your money making money, something shifts in your brain. You stop checking your balance with dread. You start checking it with excitement. You stop seeing saving as deprivation. You start seeing spending as the thing that's depriving you of future wealth. Your entire relationship with money changes, and that change is worth more than the dollars in your account. It's a change in who you are. It's a change in what you believe is possible. Let me tell you about the psychology flip, because this is the part that nobody talks about, and it's the most important part. This is the secret that separates people who build wealth from people who don't. When you start saving, every dollar feels like a sacrifice. You're giving up something now for something later. Your brain hates that. It's wired for now, not later. It feels like loss. It feels like pain. But when you have money saved and invested, every dollar of growth feels like a gift. You didn't have to do anything for it. It just showed up. Your brain loves that. It's wired to like free stuff. It feels like winning. It feels like progress. This is the flip. You go from feeling like you're losing every time you save to feeling like you're winning every time your money grows. The action is the same. The feeling is completely different. And here's the beautiful part. Once you experience that flip, you start making different decisions. Not because you're forcing yourself, because you want to. Not because you have to, because you choose to. You start looking for ways to save more. Not because you're depriving yourself, but because you're excited to see what your money will do. You're curious, you're engaged, you're playing a game, you're winning. You start getting excited about tax refunds. Not because you can blow the money on something fun, but because you can dump it into your investments and watch it grow. A tax refund used to be fun money. Now it's fuel for your engine. You start seeing expensive dinners not as treats you deserve, but as opportunities you're giving up. Not because you're miserable, but because you have a clear picture of what that money could become. You're not depriving yourself. You're choosing your future over your present. This is what financial experts don't tell you. They talk about compound interest like it's just math. But the real magic is how it changes your behavior. The math is just the tool. The behavior changes the result. The person who has never saved $1,000 looks at a $5 coffee and sees a small pleasure. They see warmth, comfort, a moment of happiness in a hard day. That's real. The person who has watched their money grow looks at that same $5 coffee and sees $50 in 10 years, $200 in 20 years, $800 in 30 years. They see the same coffee. They see a completely different cost. Same coffee, same price, completely different decision. Not because one person is stronger or smarter, because one person has a different relationship with money, because one person has seen what money can become. Now, let's talk about something most financial advice completely ignores: the hidden scripts running in your head, the beliefs you didn't choose, the programs installed before you could object. Every single one of us has beliefs about money that got programmed into us when we were kids, and those beliefs are running your financial life whether you realize it or not. They're the operating system of your money decisions. Maybe you grew up hearing your parents argue about money, so now your brain associates having money with conflict and stress. Your brain thinks money is dangerous, so it sabotages your efforts to get it. Maybe you heard, "We can't afford that," so often that your brain genuinely believes you're not the type of person who gets to have nice things. Your brain thinks you don't deserve wealth, so it doesn't let you keep it. Maybe money was never discussed at all, so you develop this weird shame around even thinking about building wealth. Like wanting financial security somehow makes you greedy or shallow. Your brain thinks wanting money is bad, so it stops you from wanting it. These scripts are invisible. They're running in the background like an app you forgot you installed. They're making decisions for you every single day, and you don't even know they're there. Here's the good news. Once you know they're there, you can change them. You can uninstall the old scripts and install new ones. You can rewrite your operating system. The first $1,000 isn't just about the money. It's about proving to yourself that the old scripts are wrong. It's about giving your brain new evidence. It's about overwriting the old programs with new data. Every time you save money instead of spending it, you're not just building wealth. You're rewriting your story. You're telling your brain, "I am the kind of person who saves money. I am the kind of person who builds wealth. I am capable. I am deserving." And eventually your brain believes it, not because you convinced it with logic, because you showed it with proof, because you gave it evidence it couldn't ignore, because you did the thing it said you couldn't do. That's why the first $1,000 is so important. It's not the money, it's the proof. It's the evidence that you can do this. And once you have that proof, nothing can stop you. Let me show you something that might make you angry. Not at me. At the small leaks you've never noticed. At the money that disappears while you're not looking. The average American spends $1,300 a year on coffee. That's not a judgment. That's just a number. But let me show you what that number actually means. Let me make it real. That $1,300 a year, invested at 7% returns for 30 years, becomes over $120,000. $120,000 for coffee. Now, I'm not saying you should never buy coffee. I'm saying you should know what that coffee actually costs, not just the $5 today, the $120,000 over your lifetime, the compound growth you're giving up. It's the same with lunch. A $12 lunch every workday is $3,000 a year. Invested for 30 years, over $280,000. A $20 weekly takeout habit, $1,040 a year. $96,000 over 30 years. A $50 monthly subscription you don't use, $600 a year. $55,000 over 30 years. Add them up. Coffee, lunch, takeout, unused subscriptions. Suddenly you're looking at over $500,000 just disappearing every day while you're not looking, while you're living your life, while you're wondering why you can't get ahead. This isn't about shaming you. This is about giving you information, because you can't change what you don't see. You can't fix a leak you don't know exists. Once you see where your money is actually going, you can make different choices, not because you're depriving yourself, because you're choosing what matters, because you're being intentional instead of accidental. Maybe coffee matters to you. Great. Keep buying it, but cancel the subscription you don't use. Pack lunch twice a week, skip the takeout on Tuesdays. Small changes, not all or nothing, just a little bit better. Just a few dollars redirected, just a few leaks plugged. So let's put all of this together. Why is the first $1,000 really the hardest? Let me count the ways. First, because you're fighting your brain. Your brain is wired for now, not later. It will fight you every step of the way. It will whisper doubts. It will offer distractions. It will remind you of what you're missing. Second, because you have no momentum. The snowball isn't rolling yet. Every dollar you save comes entirely from you. Your money isn't helping yet. You're pushing the boulder alone. Third, because you have no proof. Your brain doesn't believe you can do it because you've never done it before. So every setback feels like confirmation that you're right to doubt yourself. Every failure feels like evidence of your limitations. Fourth, because setbacks will happen. Your car will break. Your dog will get sick. Your landlord will raise the rent. Life will happen. And when you're starting from zero, every setback feels like starting over. Every setback feels like failure. Fifth, because you're alone. When you're saving your first $1,000, nobody is cheering for you. Your friends don't understand. Your family might not get it. You're doing this without a support system. You're doing this in silence. Sixth, because the rewards are invisible. When you spend money, you get something right away. A meal, a shirt, a night out, a moment of happiness. When you save money, you get nothing today. Just a number on a screen. Just a promise to your future self. Seventh, because the system isn't built for you. Credit cards want you in debt. Ads want you spending. Social media wants you comparing. Everything around you is designed to make saving feel impossible. You're swimming against a current that's trying to pull you under. This is why most people never make it. Not because they're weak, not because they're lazy, not because they're stupid, because they're fighting alone against forces they don't even see, because they don't know what they're up against. But here's the thing, once you know what you're fighting, you can win. You can build systems, you can hack your brain, you can make saving automatic, you can create a support system, you can find your people, you can learn the hidden rules. The first $1,000 is the hardest because you're doing everything for the first time, but you only have to do it once. After that, you've climbed the mountain. After that, you know the path. After that, you have proof. Let's lock this in with a quick recap, because the first $1,000 is hard enough without forgetting why you're doing it. 1. Your brain is wired for now, not later. That's not a flaw, that's evolution. But you can hack it by making saving automatic and spending harder. 2. The first $1,000 is the hardest because you have no momentum. Every dollar comes from you. Your money isn't working yet. You're the engine. You're the fuel. You're the driver. 3. The snowball starts slow. 10 months for your first $1,000, 9 for your second, 8.5 for your third. It gets easier. The slope gets less steep. 4. Around $10,000, your money starts doing real work. At 7% returns, $10,000 earns $700 a year. That's $58 a month. Your money is now your partner. You're not alone anymore. 5. The psychology flip happens when you see your money making money. You stop feeling deprived. You start feeling excited. Everything changes. Your relationship with money is transformed. 6. Hidden scripts are running in your head. Beliefs about money you learned as a kid. Find them, question them, replace them. Rewrite your operating system. 7. Small leaks add up. A $5 coffee every day is $1,300 a year, $120,000 over 30 years. Not a judgment, just information, just data to inform your choices. 8. The first $1,000 isn't about the money, it's about the proof. It's about showing your brain that you can do this. Once you have proof, nothing can stop you. Here's what I want you to do. Don't try to save $1,000, that's too big. Your brain will panic, your brain will rebel, your brain will find excuses. Save $20, that's it. Just $20 this week. Next week, save another $20, then another, then another. Don't worry about the 1,000, just worry about the 20. Because here's the secret. $20 this week is better than $0 this week, and $20 next week is better than $0 next week. And at some point, without even noticing, you'll look up and you'll have $100, then $200, then $500, then $1,000. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start. You don't need to save $1,000 in a month. You just need to save something. Anything. Anything is better than nothing. The people who build wealth aren't the ones who made huge sacrifices once. They're the ones who made small sacrifices consistently, over and over, until it became automatic, until it became who they are. Start tiny, start now, not tomorrow, not next week, not when you get paid. Now, today, this minute. Your future self will thank you. Your future self is counting on you. Your future self is waiting for you to make the choice that will set them free. If this video helped you understand why the first $1,000 is so hard, hit that like button. It helps more people find it. And subscribe if you want more videos about the psychology of money, not just the math, the real stuff, the stuff that actually matters. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment and tell me, what's the one small leak you're going to plug this week? The coffee, the lunch, the subscription, the takeout, the impulse purchase? Be specific. Tell me your plan. Write it down. Make it real. Be honest. Be specific. Let's fill the comments with real plans. Maybe your comment will inspire someone else to start today. Maybe someone else's comment will inspire you. I read them. I'll be in there. Let's figure this out together. Thanks for watching. Start tiny. Start now. See you in the next one.